Apologies, everyone, that took a little while. We were kind of expecting things to move a little quicker than it did.
Yeah.
Sangal versus Entropiq. Best of 3. Winner through, of course, to the RMR. Loser has to play for 5th place tomorrow. Otherwise, Neo, no 5th place, no RMR, and you have to run through the open qualies once more. Both teams fighting for survival. This is the pick of Sangal of Inferno. Entropiq start on the CT side. Should introduce ourselves. I'm Retro, joined by Neo, your lovely favourite UK duo.
Of course.
Maybe not favourite, but we'll take it.
No, favourite.
Yeah,
Come on
reckon?
now. Come on now. Of course, this is a best of 3. This is the first best of 3, and Mirage is the pick of Entropiq up next. Dust 2 is our decider if we get there.
All right.
Very puggy maps. The pug is paradise to all 3.
You say Mirage up next, Dust 2 last?
Yes, they're the 3 maps.
Entropiq on Mirage. Could be interesting. Mir, I mean, that was very interesting to begin with. Just runs right down banana. Doesn't expect anyone to be there. Gets his head taken off his shoulders. Scrunk with utility. Caught off guard. Brilliant shot. Smoke dropped as well. So now they know maybe that it is just going to be an A play. Half that util already expended. Flashbanging on short. Brackets control at least go in the way of Sangal.
Yeah, at the very least, now Sangal, they're going for that wrapping towards B. In fact, this could work in their favor. Wrap background, and you can see Entropiq, they're just holding down their positions. They know they're expecting this wrap to come over towards the site, and there it is.
Kory gonna have to take first contact here. He indeed is trying to chase up Crad. Which way does this one go? The flash isn't great. Crad's able to slip the net, and for that, Soulfly picks up the first kill on B. Second one, I should say, goes the way of Sangal. Very nice shot from Forester. 2 versus 3. They've got to set that bomb down. Fozy still kicking, though. The man, the youth of Sweden from Young Ninjas, collecting a second Soulfly, the hat-trick. Sangal, the pistol.
And this is a completely fresh Sangal as well. You've kind of mentioned one of the names already, Fozy, coming through, and then, you know, ironing out this squad of Soulfly, Kory, QB, and Scrunk. I mean, it's a very, very nice squad. Bit of a random, eclectic mix as well, with kind of 4 different nations. But I gotta say, it's been looking like it's been working really well. They've obviously made it very, very deep in towards this 3rd qualifier. They're into the best of 3 stage. They are so close to a spot at the RMR. They are literally 1 best of 3 away, but it's Entropiq. It's a mammoth task. Great start though. First round going their way. Need to fall by 4 of them, and you should expect them to find 2.
Nades dropped in on sandbags. Nothing going to be picked up just yet. Molly's nades util at the maximum. It's a stack for Entropiq towards B. Soulfly will find the first. Looking for more with the USP. Will get away with it. Nickelback finding a response though. QB keeping the numbers very well in check for Sangal. Kory, QB, and Fozy. 3 versus 2 scenario. Forester bought a Zeus. We like to see the investment made. You know, the attempt there. Boost over the top. Fozy reads into it quite nicely. Forester gone. Alien, 1 versus 3.
Safe to say he isn't going to find too much here. If he can get a consolation kill, that'd be great. Unlikely. Tapping away, has been spotted, trying to cause a couple of problems. For Alien, his number is more or less up. He's being hunted by the Mac 10. The Galil's in front of him. He does find in a soft one towards QB, so I guess it is a silver lining there for him. It's 2 kills for Alien, 1 for Nickelback. And in what was not much of an investment, you got to say, it's actually really not too bad in the grand scheme of things. Unfortunately, straight into a pause off the back of that. Entropiq will be able to pick themselves up a full buy coming in towards his next round. And there's another thing to mention as well. It's different to every other game we have seen so far in this 3rd qualifier. And of course, the same way that every single qualifier runs, this isn't a do or die situation. If you lose this game, you drop into a 5th place decider bracket, which will be played out tomorrow, if I'm right in saying. So it's on the end of the road, essentially, here. You know, whoever loses this, there's still a chance for them, but there's only 1 slot up for grabs, and you're competing against every single of the other teams who have lost of the 4 best 3s that are running concurrently. So it's still a bit of a long road, but I guess it is, technically speaking, the first time we see a lower bracket in these goals.
I'm trying to think the last time we actually had a lower bracket in a qualifier. I'm trying to think back to Antwerp. Thinking about if they had a lower bracket in their qualifiers. I don't think they did they? I'm going to have a little look now.
Off the top of my head, I can't actually remember.
Antwerp was...
It's such a long time ago.
Mate, honestly,
yes,
like,
Antwerp,
it's so scary because, like, obviously I'm meant to know Counter-Strike. But it just all blurs together, mate. The history just blurs together.
Yeah.
This is the issue. It's like, it doesn't matter how hard you try and think about it. Like, it is, you know, is killer. I'm having a look now in the open qualifiers, of course, for Antwerp. And no, there wasn't.
There we go.
It was only first, second, third, fourth. So you played for seeding for first, second, third, fourth, but you did not play a fifth place decider. So that's something that has changed, or at least in the first open quali, they didn't. The second one, nope, same again. It was the exact same. So okay, sure.
There we go.
It is indeed the first time in quite some time we've seen a
Lower bracket in the
lower
quals.
bracket in the quals. Yeah, which is nice. Which is nice. It's different.
It
I
is.
like it.
One thing to mention as well, of course, while we are in a little bit of a tech pause here, I think Mer dropped out of the server. He's back now, so hopefully he's okay. Generally speaking, if it is a tech pause at this length, you'd probably assume it's something to do with VAR. It always seems to be the case with these online games. It's a slight VAR issue, but while we have got this pause, we can kind of update the scores on the board around the best of threes. B8 are 4-0 up against Heat. Pretty interesting stuff over there. Looks like a decent game. Eternal Fire 3-0 up against Ecstatic. One Pin versus Fantasy. The best of one is still being played. Los Cagutos are waiting. And they've been waiting for a long time as well. They won 16-2 earlier. But One Pin of Fantasy, they have gone to OT. So, interesting over there. That game doesn't look like it wants to end at all. But of course, we're hoping this game, ours, will get started soon.
I don't know what we're going to be waiting on now. But hopefully nothing too long until we get into things here, Neo. Not really much to talk about so far. Sangal won the pistol. Very nice shots from Sangal-phzy and from Phzy. They win the follow-up as well because of it. Of course, Entropiq were on pistols. Now this is where things get a little more interesting. Miz brought up, so I'm guessing now the problems for Entropiq are solved. Elian's got an AWP, a glass cannon in round 3. That is audacious from the big man of Elian.
Yeah, that is a... I'm not going to say a questionable buy, because nobody's trying to. He's trying to make a difference very, very early doors. He wants to deny this sort of pressure and presence by Sangal, which has been a very good start from them, but whew, that's risky. That really is risky, and actually could end up coming back to bite them. We'll have to wait and see. It's a full investment by Entropiq as we expected, but the glass cannon is not something that we had in our playbook. We'll have to see how this one plays out. Of course, for Sangal, they can bring in more or less what they had in towards the previous round. Entropiq did find a few kills, so they've had to buy up around that, but it's a double glue setup, triple AK, and a whole host of utility.
Speaking of utility, it's something that Entropiq don't have, Neo. It's something that we don't really possess. Elian's gone for the glass cannon. Crad had to sink $650 into the half Kevlar, so he doesn't actually have much in the way of the utility factor. Elian, nice little tag up. Kory down to 19 points of health, so not a terrible scenario to be in for Entropiq. They do have a slight leg up in the opening stages of round 3. Still a really good chance that Entropiq can make things work, though, and put themselves on the board for their first. Sangal still got 5 alive. Smoke dropped over to Kory. Shouldn't be much of an issue here. Minute and 13 to go. Sangal, I mean, 3 on ramp. Talk about the slowest default of the lot.
Yeah, exactly that. Looking forward now, making the way towards Banana. To test those waters. Nickelback making the smart decision just to take a step away. Doesn't want to engage in that fight too early doors. Elian, with that glass cannon, not going to show face for the time being. There is a lurking towards Apps, though.
Crad going to get smoked off on long, and that means it's going to be blind, but they push before the smoke. And while it is indeed through the util, Crad finds 2. At least the information. The rest is history for Sangal-phzy and Scrunk. QB still good for another. Flash lobbed in. Kory a second. And the numbers somehow in favor of Sangal as they run away with more. And it's a 5-on-3. But Sangal, even with lower numbers, have bigger opportunities.
1 versus 3, and look, Nickelback, he's hightailing it. He wants nothing to do with this situation. He doesn't want to take the fight at all, and well, I'll safe to say, he's going to park up. Of course, with the new radius of Inferno in that most recent change coming through, I mean, he can actually park up there and potentially get a frag or 2, right? I think the big thing they'll be looking for is that AWP. They wanted to see if they can salvage that back in their favor. You can no longer go for that kind of too close of a save. This one might be just okay because they have 100 HP. Still going to be a little bit risky. I know the radius has expanded significantly, but of course for Kory, he really has to hightail it. They just about make it. Kory's absolutely fine. No one dropping an AK or anything towards the end. Just like that. And 3-0 start for Sangal. A really, really good start as well.
Three nothing. Sangal from the 3v5 position. They are looking too strong right now. Entropiq, sure it was a save from Nickelback, but the rest of them are on pistols. See what they got in store for us here. Round number 4. HE lobbed by Alien, trying to catch the Mexico player. Nade. Lands on Soul Flight. Entropiq managing to do bits of damage here and there, Neo. For the time being, this has been a pretty confident round, though. As Sangal, of course, the better weaponry.
Yeah, not a great start by Entropiq. Of course, you mentioned that glass cannon was a bit of a risk, and well, of course, now left them with a little bit of a dire spot in terms of the economy. Of course, Nickelback's got that M4A1S to work with. It's a real opportunity now for Sangal to start pulling significantly ahead. In towards apps, Pop Flash will come through. Forester won't spot too much.
I mean, with 55 seconds, Entropiq have kind of whittled them down to a last-minute maneuver. "40 seconds left on the clock here. Sangal still calculating if they want to head towards A. I don't think they have much of a choice otherwise. Entropiq have got a 4-man stack towards B. 30 seconds left, and indeed they will be trying to bargain a rotate. It was Soulfly to move away. There's only one man to defend here. Forester has got everything to do in this round. Util is looking pretty decent for Sangal. More to the point, Soulfly's found the opening kill. A-site is there. Skrunk's found a second, and this is looking pretty easy here for Sangal. It will be 4-0. Entropiq's half-buy does not work out.
There we go. They try to wheel something around that M4A1S. Not to happen, though. And of course, now look where we stand. For Nickelback, it has to be the similar scenario. Saving Merg as the Wards with the PT-50. He will fall, though. Alien will follow suit. It is just Nickelback once again. The similar position he was in once before. Looks for something. Does find himself one. It's a silver lining. But the bad situation is Sangal get a 4-0 start. And it is a... well, it's a flying start, isn't it? It's a really, really solid performance from Sangal on their map pick on their T side. It's starting to bridge a notable gap. And now it's about this consistency. Can they keep the cogwheels going? Can they keep the snowball effect in play to, well, already make this a possibility? You have to wait and see. 4 buyout for Entropiq. The AWP this time supported by some body armor.
Sangal with quite the economy to work with, a luxury that Entropiq can't quite yet afford. Decent nade damage as well. Mir and Nickelback both taking a little bit of chip damage here and there. Forester smoking in apartments and trying to give himself a little bit of space. I like this idea. The tech behind it, of course, is that if you look down, the smoke is differently than if you are to look forward. Allows them to go a little deeper, see the feet. You know, it's not a bad idea. However, brackets control looks to be taken here by Sangal.
Something they've done before. We saw them do it on the pistol round. And, well, not too shabby so far. Slow tempo, I think, is the biggest thing to talk about here with Sangal. They're not really too overzealous in cutting down those angles. They're cautious of an AWP, I think, is one of those things that they have to be slightly concerned about. And, well, that's what we see so far. Resmoking towards front side. Nickelback just posted up. Doesn't want to take too much of a fight so far. Sangal, they got to try and find something with 40 seconds on the clock.
Time definitely of the essence here. Mir's going to pick up the first. Pretty confident stuff to see that Entropiq have earned themselves the early advantage. Nickelback going to be tested. We'll find the first. Looking for a second. Smoke towards CT, and that allows Kory to swing in. More importantly, enough time to set that bomb down. Sure, Entropiq are up a man, but the retake needs to be completed. Mir's going to move in. Does fall. QB finds crowd as well. And from the man advantage, once again, Entropiq sit one worse. Sangal look for 5. Their Inferno start has been nothing but impeccable as QB finds a second. Forester left to save.
And again, another scenario where it looked like Entropiq were in the driver's seat and how Sangal are so good at turning rounds on their head. Forester, he's over towards CT, looking to see if he can potentially find someone on the X. I don't think he'll be giving it, though. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Sangal, a 5-0 start. And I think Retro is pretty safe to say that we didn't expect this sort of result in this sort of dominant fashion at the very least. We maybe saw,
Yeah.
Sangal have the potential to be able to pull off very decent results, pull off themselves even upset here or there. Because on paper, you probably got to say that Entropiq are the favourites here. Sangal so far looking like the much better side on the server, and this is what this new roster is capable of providing.
Sangal was a massive outsider in this contest in 1xBet. They were saying basically Sangal is done for, kind of written off. Not quite Astralis versus Los Kagutos odds, but
yeah, true.
But definitely a write-off in some senses. This is their map pick, so I guess if you want to take silver linings to the Entropiq slow start, it is that, of course, this isn't their pick. At the same time, I think there's a lot of question marks over this Sangal side as to how well they've been performing. Ever since picking up CSGO, this team just keep going more and more on the map, it feels like, Neo. One best of 3 here, and they could find themselves in the RMR.
Yeah, I mean, it's spot on. I think since CSGO's jumped in towards this team, I think more than finding in terms of kind of raw firepower or anything of the sort, it's stability for me. That's the thing that I think they've started to find, because you look towards kind of previous results of Sangal, and they were decent, but it was inconsistent. That's the biggest thing. They would find these insane runs, but then they'd enter a tournament against kind of, much lower opponents in terms of rankings, and they'd fall flat. And this is the thing where since CSGO's coming towards his side, they've started to look really, really solid. He's been great at kind of finding his own form, finding his own sort of play style, and giving Sangal this, really solid kind of a team. Generally speaking, I've got to say I'm very, very impressed. And it's a bit of a random signing when you look at kind of how Sangal was set up, but it's worked absolute dreams. I don't know whoever is in charge of the hiring and the scouting over at Sangal, but they found an absolute worldie. It's a diamond in the rough there.
I don't know how you explain, the idea behind picking up some of these Sangal players. This was a full Turkish team. Then I think it was, German core at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Now we're, European, but, dabble in a bit of CSGO most recently. We only have Soulfly from the original team. Skrunk and QB carried forward. Kory's from Hungary. It's the most interesting...
Budapest 5, I think he was on for a bit.
Yeah, it's the most interesting mix match. But it has just been working. They have been deleting teams through this event so far. You look back maybe to this run specifically. Budapest 5 lost 16-9. And then obviously they played against Sachi.
Ooh.
Very nice shot from CSGO. Where they won 16-7. And, Sachi has the likes of Rixo and Alex Somfan and Lund and Mingo and Vesta. We know them as a Danish side. Some playing, I believe Rixo was in and around AGF for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
There's some pretty decent names in that team. And they're dispensing of them very, very easily. Two more WAP wins. They're through to Malta. They get themselves that slot in the RMR for the second time running.
Well, so far, we've seen CSGO kickstart things really, really well. Nice opening pick. 10 points of HP, but of course, he'll carry on abiding by Bogdan's law with that big queen in his hands. They're going for that brackets control, and they're going to get it for free. If they wrap towards B, this could work in their favor, but they're going to commit towards A.
Into the triple stack as well. Elian dinked 1 point of health. Grad will find the first. Doesn't expect Kory to be leaping through the skies, as Skrunk will find the third. A very, very easy pick up there for Sangal. And they make it near flawless. Only QB gone. 4 survives. Sangal 6-0.
Gotta say, great round again. CSGO with the opening pick. And then the best thing about Sangal and what they did so well there is they found the opening kill. That's great. But they didn't immediately pull the trigger. They knew that they had to try and find a little bit more information about how Entropiq was setting up. They were cautious of a gamble stack. They actually ended up going in towards the camel stack either way. Didn't matter. Passed it with flying colors, Kory, that lovely double. One towards Grave, one towards Mini Pits. Bob's run cool. But yeah, FyZzy's playing really, really well for me. Starting to find that form and that consistency that we know and love.
And I mean, consistency has been something he's worked with, what feels like, for an eternity. I think back to Young Ninjas, and FyZzy was always someone that we had at the top half of the score sheets. He never, it seemed like he never had a bad game. Entropiq, on the other hand, at one point they were top 12 in the world, I want to say. Definitely up there in like the lower end of tier 1. Their peak was number 9. There you go. 22nd of November.
There you go.
Number 9. Did the same at the 14th of March. Since then, it has been a very, very steep decline. Elian, to introduce him to the server, Soulfly, quick trade.
And this is the reason why they get Soulfly from that old roster. He's a fantastic player, cracking player. And he shows what he can do. Nice shot towards Elian, spoken towards CT as well. Resmokes, I think he actually missed that first one. Molotov in towards Coffin. Will actually be causing a little bit of damage. Close range. Nickelback can't pass that test. He's deleted once again. Soulfly and an AK. Match made in heaven.
Brad having a dangerous, dangerous peak. Had that fight gone his way, this round definitely could have been attempted by the Sangal side. Instead, the bomb gets set down. Mir's going to stick his nose out towards Coffin. Having a decent look deep. See what he can find. Scrunk, in the meantime, going to get rid of one up. Picks up the other. Soulfly swinging in. Oh, great adjustment onto Mir. And for that, Sangal, it will be 7-0. Brilliant start. Brilliant, brilliant start here for Sangal. You can't fault them in any way.
That's it for sure. 7-0. I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect it to be like this. Of course, this is Sangal's map pick, don't get me wrong. But Entropiq aren't bad on Inferno. They've shown at times, to be fair. Even if you look in terms of raw statistics as well, Inferno is a map in which, previous to the 3 months that are in now, they've had times where they scrimmed it. It's normally their insta-ban, but it's on a map in which has kind of been a massive sort of deficit for them. I would normally say their Vertigo has been a little bit of a question mark at times. Inferno was normally their insta-ban, but for them, I never thought it was a horrible map. I've seen a couple of demos where it looked pretty decent, but this is not exactly what I'm expecting, and maybe should have been the insta-ban. It also makes me question what the thought process was for Entropiq. They went for the ban of Ancient and Vertigo coming in, which kind of makes sense since I think Vertigo is a big weak point for them, but I don't know, maybe Inferno should have stayed as that insta.
Great nade. Nickelback set back a little bit further in this round. Another investment made by Entropiq. It's been interesting, isn't it, Neo, how one-sided this game's been so far. I don't know if it's Sangal just looking fresh and looking good, or if it's Entropiq that just have been second best throughout today so far. Elian takes a bit of damage to the molly as well. Not the most ideal way to kickstart your campaign in round 8. HE's lobbed in. They won't connect. Entropiq still attains slight disadvantages. Mir, that is brilliant. Elian a third, but 2 through the smoke. A crucial double set up by Mir. Might not mean anything still. It's a QB 1-on-3 required. Finds the first. Bomb still needs to be picked up. 50 seconds to go. Mir, you will see some spams with the smoke. Tries to return the favor. Transitions to the AK. QB, none the wiser. Has to go for the C4. Nickelback will be in his sights.
QB can make this work. The bomb down is the biggest issue, but Nickelback falls. He can get the bomb. He can run towards B, but I don't think he realizes.
He won't know where this last player is. It's Mir to try and get the timing. It's Mir to swing in. But QB's got all 3. The clutch of a lifetime to keep Sangal flawless on Inferno. QB hits an unreal clutch. Can't stop the man. Can't stop the team. You cannot stop the beast of Sangal right now. It's 8-0.
2 versus 4, turned 1 versus 3, turned Sangal continuing this flawless run. What a round there from QB. That is nothing short of spectacular. Take a bow. Take a bow, son. 8-0. And as I was saying earlier, you know, this is a map that was generally normally seen as Entropiq's Instaban. I think the plan is for them is that they're trying to integrate it into their map pool and no longer be one of those teams with an Instaban. I think they maybe should have kept it as an Instaban. This is looking dire right now. Really not looking great at all, as they are significantly struggling. And Sangal are pulling away. What a game this has been.
Breather for Entropiq. But Sangal will not let go of the throats of the CIS side. They really want to bring the fight to them. They can't afford to let this momentum slip. They keep on a tear. It could be very, very scary. Let's see what we've got though, round 9. Entropiq, I mean, what is this buy? Mir's gone for an M4. Everyone else has gone for an eco, but Nickelback's gone for like a pretty deep investment. I don't know what to make of this so far, Neo, but it feels like Entropiq already starting to panic here, being at the lower hand on Inferno.
No, that's it. I think Entropiq are really starting to feel the pressure now. And of course, if they go into map number 2 with, well, you know, morale not in a great space, it could be dire. Mir, full blind, find Soulfly. First time in a while we've seen Entropiq actually find the opening kill.
Kory knows that he's in that back corner. He's got a molly. Will indeed go to use it. Krad's going to be forced out. Very easy kill. Kory knew what was up from the moment he spotted the big man. And it is a 4 versus 4. Mir will be able to scoop up a pistol, a bit of an upgrade on what he had previously. But it doesn't stop Sangal looking like the favourites to win this round. 40 seconds left. Once again, bracket control is theirs. And they will look to move towards the A site here. Smoke towards pit. Kory wants to take this fight. Sangal don't seem too sure in the A attempt, but this time now I think it looks a little bit easier with 2 kills for 1. Kyubi lining the remainder up. Double for him, double for Kory, single for Scrunk. 9 on the board for Sangal. Entropiq yet to score.
Wow, I gotta say that nice little 2-piece there by QB was quite nice. Mini transfer, but a good one all the same. 9-0. Wow. For Sangal, this is already starting to look very good, and if you're Entropiq, it's looking concerning. Yeah, it's looking dire. I mean, what words even describe how rough a performance this has been? And this is a shadow of their former selves. This is Entropiq we're talking about.
And Sangal have already picked up 2 kills in the early stages of this round. Make it 3, make it 4. 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. Entropiq walk into the crosshairs of Sangal. And it will be a near flawless round. QB to try and put it up. Forester 5 points of health. It's going to be 10-0. I mean, Neo, you know, we had the TBA screen up for a little while. We were like, what game do we watch? We weren't sure what was going to be the closest. We thought, oh, we don't know. Maybe the 1-pin game against Los Kagutos would be quite funny to watch. Obviously, they didn't win. It was Fantasy that clutched up in overtime.
Yep.
Eternal Fire, Ecstatic. We've got that. We had that covered earlier on today. The only other one was Heat B8. And we were kind of thinking, you know, surely Heat run away with that game. And so we were like, I reckon this one's the closest. We were saying, yeah, Sangal Entropiq sounds like a banger. With the changes Sangal have made, it should be Entropiq that walk away with things. No, not the case. The other way around, Sangal have gone 10 for nothing on the T side of Inferno.
Don't get me wrong, I've been following Sangal. I had a couple of conversations about them on a recent talk show, and I was going to say about how I like the changes. I think Fuzi's a really solid addition.
Yeah,
I never expected it to be this solid, though. I didn't expect it to be this dominant. This is Entropiq we're talking about, who have gone to a major and competed very well at one, too. And it's this insanely good performance from Sangal. I mean, they are all over them.
I mean, the recent history of Entropiq hasn't been the greatest, has it?
No,
You know,
that's true.
when you think, what, 4 months ago they were number 9 in the world, and you think to present day they're not even in the top 30, has been a little bit of a realization for them that maybe they aren't the untouchable CIS squad that we kind of saw the shadows of Gambit. But this is an uncanny performance from Sangal for all the right reasons as well. A minute on the clock. I've kind of been put in their place at the beginning of this round, Neo, but numbers stay level 5 versus 5. What does Sangal have in store for us for the remaining 50 seconds? The bomb is on Banana. Nade lands on Crad, will do a little bit of damage. QB caught out towards the boiler, and well, that should send the alarm bells that it is indeed a B play.
Yeah, surely that now spurs them on to fall back, and you can see it. In fact, Nickelback going to drop back towards Coffins. Flash will come through. That'll deny a little bit of space, allows them to cross back over towards Nubox. Mir boosting one up. He himself buying some time. It's a really good call from Entropiq, but the bomb's going towards A.
This is a great read from Sangal. 20 seconds left. They go into the lesser armed site. Only issue is this molly's landed a bit too shallow, right? It's landed too towards Sangal. They can't get past it. There's 10 seconds to get that bomb down. First kill's Krads. The second is Soulfly. Third, fourth, Forester. Oh my good God, Forester. A full house between himself and his brother of Crad. That buys them out and puts Entropiq on the board. Very close once more. But indeed, finally, Entropiq break the curse.
Yeah, finally. Finally, we see Entropiq do what we expected them to do a long time ago. Find a round. You didn't really think it would take this long, but my God, it's taken a while. 10-1. And of course, now we can have conversations about is this possibly Entropiq seeing out the half in a slightly stronger facet? We'll have to wait and see. Of course, it'd be a dream for them to find 5, and I've got to say, slightly unlikely.
Having a good look. IEM-Road back on schedule. Skrunk's just come from a circus show, juggling the flashbangs in. I mean, I rate it. I'm not gonna lie. I think that when you think about utility, how you can drop it now, you can buy 5 nades technically per round. You know, 2 flashes, 1 HE, 1 molly, 1 smoke. Technically 6 if you want to buy a decoy. I mean, it's a bit
For
pointless,
sure.
but
Yeah.
But definitely, if you can have 5 pieces of utility instead of 4, definitely could be an interesting one. So far, they've been gifted a man advantage, and that little bit of extra utility definitely could put them a long way. As it is an execute towards A. Yet again, they gamble towards the A site. It's been very favourable for the Sangal side so far. Forester finds one, able to slip the net a little bit here as well. Flashbang lobbed in to try and slow the push on the short position. Forester still lurking behind the smoke. Soulfly has him covered though, and that's looking really, really good now for Sangal as they settle into the 1-man lead. Nickelback coming in from short, but that's actually Mir cut off, so they'll know there's a second man lurking. They know Alien's position by the looks of things as well, as QB went for a pre-fire. I can only guess this is going to be another Entropiq save. It should be 11-1.
It is. They're falling away. They don't want anything to do with it. I don't blame them at all. I mean, this is I continue to keep getting more and more impressed by how well Sangal are going about each and every round. They've got this sort of mentality about them of where they're so confident. There's a massive trust. You can see that synergy is well, looking really hot between these two sides. And of course, you look towards Entropiq, and it's safe to say that the trend of their recent statistics on Inferno, which is more or less nothing, this, as we mentioned, was their Instaban, is proving to really pay the price to them. They are seriously struggling to play this map, and it probably should have remained their Instaban. Of course, this is going to be the first time in the last 3 months we've seen this played on HLTV from them, and it's going to be a loss if they aren't able to turn things around, because this is a brutal showing from Entropiq. But then again, that default over towards A, stunning from them.
11-1. 10-round gap in favour of Sangal. The T side of Inferno has looked scary, to say the absolute minimum. There's a lot of if, buts and maybes now about this Entropiq best of 3. The validity and integrity of this squad very much at stake from the first half. Nade, brilliant damage. Good lord. Oh, Wellion! A 2-for-1! Right. That's more like it. All going to be scooped up by Skrunk. Still some work to do. But yet again, it's Alien that puts up big numbers on long. Wondering now, what's the Sangal move? Skrunk maybe asking, can you boost me on the corner? Let me get a little bit of elevation on this peak. Goes for the jump around the corner. Does have him beat. Mir will take him down. Kory's response is looking good. Alien's AWP still kicking though for 3. And Forester will round things out quite nicely. Not bad from Entropiq. Comes from a little bit of fortune that Alien's able to line them both up. But they don't care how they come at this point. Entropiq just want to salvage as much as they can in this first half.
Yeah, they quite literally want anything. They would be happy to walk away with anything from this sort of scenario where Sangal is so far ahead. It kind of even gets to the point and a question of, is this already too little too late? I mean, it's 11-2. It's such a long road to recovery for the likes of Entropiq, but of course, it's not a job done or a story done just yet. We're still seeing moments of brilliance from Entropiq.
Great nade set once again. Entropiq now starting to get a feel for the CT side. I know what Sangal like to do. The nades doing a lot. Kory, Soulfly, Scrunk, all tagged up by the shrapnel. Mir blocking the smoke. Nickelback going to be given a little bit of a gap to work with. Whether he liked it or not, though, it's a question that neither of us can answer. Entropiq themselves, minimal utility, but a really good chance, honestly, that they could be converting a third round here. But considering the maximum is 4, not adequate for their CT side.
Well, so far, so slow. Flash gonna come in. Easy freebie for Nickelback to find the first. Skrunk's falling to a beautiful flash. Missed the orb shot from Elian, and he has to fall away too.
Nicely done. Soulfly will pick up 1. The molly will put him to sleep. 4 versus 3. Great shot from Fozy, man. His rifles. QB a second. A flank from Nickelback. Oh, it's messy. It's very, very scrappy. They've got to pick up the bomb. 20 seconds left. QB will pick up a third, or rather a second. But the third between the two remaining. Fozy's got an AWP as well as he jumps up onto the big box. He indeed has the leverage over Nickelback. 12-2.
10-round lead. 10 rounds. That Sangal hold over Entropiq. As we're into the final round of the half, it doesn't really matter what Entropiq bring to this one. It already does seem a little bit done and dusted as Sangal. Again, individuals stepping up. Of course, for Scrunk being a slightly slower performance, but the rest of the team really found their own form. QB out ahead with 16 kills. He has been absolutely farming. I've seen moments of brilliance from QB too. He has been super impressive. And for Entropiq, it's been just an all-round slow performance.
Not the greatest of starts, has it, really, for Entropiq? Yet again, Scrunk is on flashbang jiggling duties. He's got 3 flashes this time.
Yeah, there we are.
Look at him
Look
go.
at the circus show.
Does feel like we need it, don't we? Just the extra drops of util that could make a big difference. Nickelback faces into the AWP of Fozy. His 11th kill, but massive impact so far. Scrunk is still juggling these flashbangs. Dropping him over. There you go. Surely someone wants one. Fozy will pick up the first. Has 2 more in his pocket, so profit definitely there. Elian, oh, great timing for QB. Has his back turned. And there we have it, 12-2, and it's looking like 13. Entropiq have been battered in this first map.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say this one looks like it's only going to go one way. Resmoking towards CT. Trying to spam their way through the smoke. 2 players trying to deny that presence. Soulfly's cautious. They're going to go for it to try and spam in towards the boost. Soulfly makes the cross. Transfer on towards Crowd, and it delivers.
2v5 to give Entropiq 3 rounds on the CT side of Inferno. Never thought I'd see the day that this scoreline comes out of Entropiq, but it's looking good. Indeed it will. 13-2 for Survive. A statement made by Sangal here in this first half. Man, do they look good, Neo. They look unbelievable.
Unstoppable as well. 13-2. And, of course, as we mentioned prior, and of course, for those of you who are new and joining us, this is normally Entropiq's Instaban. We know this, right? But at the same time, this is a side who at one point were consistently a part of Tier 1. They've always been a team who have been some of the up there in the conversation of the best of the Tier 2 as well. And they are getting schooled on a map in which most people know how to play because of just your pugs alone, right? They are getting farmed right now. This is as one-sided as it gets, with Sangal just looking unstoppable. And again, it goes back to our previous conversation about how great these Sangal changes have been and how well they've really helped this side become so solid.
man. Disappointed for Entropiq. I mean, the pistol is the very big question mark now for this T side. If they win it, I mean, if Sangal can put 13 rounds on the T side, I think statistically, you wouldn't exactly count Entropiq out. The likelihood of that happening? Well, next to nothing. See what they got in store for us, though, in round 16. If Sangal close it out, Neo, I'm pretty confident in saying that's map 1 done.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think if the pistol round goes away with Sangal, that's the final nail in the coffin. And then just a couple of seconds until it's put 6 feet under. And we can move our attention towards Mirage because Entropiq look done and dusted. Nickelback going to go aggressive in towards mid. Elliot sporting flashbang to give them some space. What can they do with it? They're going to go for brackets control.
Soulfly, will he be checked? Nickelback lets him run. First second for Soulfly. And once again, Sangal walk away with a man advantage. Picks up the utility. There's a flashbang should they need it. QB and Kory both with kills. Elian walks into the guillotine. And just like that, we are writing our first chapter closed. Entropiq, they don't seem like they want Inferno. Sangal walking away with one of the most impressionable first maps I think I've seen in a best of 3. Against, I would class a household name of Entropiq at this point as well.
I would too.
This has been, I mean, this has been Sangal's game to lose since round 8. It feels like 8-0. We were kind of like, whoa.
Well, it's done, yeah.
Like,
I was with you.
Now, 14-2. Like, who's expecting that? Who's expecting a 14-2 out of Sangal against Entropiq? And the context of this game is the winner goes to the RMRs. It's not even like this is, you know, a main Swiss stage game where you could afford to lose a game or two. This is it.
That's it. And we kind of mentioned this earlier, but for those of you who missed it in our previous game, Malta is the destination they're heading to try and qualify for the major for that RMR. And it looks like Sangal are getting one step closer to booking those tickets. They'll come through looking for damage. A little bit on towards Crab, but not the end of the world. 4 versus 4. Entropiq so far at 2. They are in desperate need of a third, and they're struggling to get it.
Let's see. Sangal 4v4 to wipe out all the money here for Entropiq. It would indeed be the final nail in the coffin if they are to win this round. 40 seconds left. It's a B play. Skrunk's left solo. He is on the boost. He's quite a distance back, so they won't see him over the top of the smoke immediately. Does get a bit of damage. In fact, chips down Nickelback and Forester. Crad low HP as well. And the cavalry has already arrived. The rotate's been pretty sharp here for Sangal. Now it's just about who can claim the first soul. CSGO doing a lot more damage than he takes. Down to 79, but Crad even closer to death as well. The Tech 9, it will find the first. Forester, good first impression. CSGO and Kory both with kills. Third kill goes Sangal's way. They have all 4. 15-2.
15-2, and I feel like this one's done. That was a full investment by Entropiq. I guess at the very least, got a bit of a loss bonus and, of course, a bomb plant. So there is that to give them some buy. But look at the economy. I mean, one person can pick up AK and full armor. That's it. And it's just meh. I mean, this is horrible to watch, horrible to see. As Entropiq, well, they are looking in a pretty rough space, I think it's safe to say. And I got to bring it back to kind of an earlier point I was talking about. I'm a little bit concerned about the kind of the mentality of Entropiq going in towards map number 2. I mean, there's a real potential that they get flustered or tilted by this sort of game, and on their own map of Mirage, maybe struggle a bit.
And they start on the T side as well, which is exactly where they'd leave off on Inferno. Let's see what they've got in store for us in quite possibly the last round of the game. Looking super promising here for Sangal in map 1. Mir, up close, does find the first. So there's light at the end of the tunnel here for the Entropiq side. You talk about the hero AK alongside the Galils, and that's a pretty impressionable beginning. Skrunk on the back of the site, falls to the Galil of Nickelback. CSGO still has one locked in. 3 versus 4. Numbers favour Entropiq in this round. You can't argue that Sangal looks second best. And honestly, this could be a save, and Sangal want to retry. Brilliant damage from CSGO through the smoke. It's unconfirmed, but Neo indeed will be Entropiq that just about pieced together a third. I'm wondering how long this stint lasts for on their T side before the eventual, I guess, collapse of Entropiq happens.
Yeah, of course, it's going to be a third for Entropiq. I do love as well that the admins in chat have put a poll up to see whether we're going to get OT. I love the confidence from the admins to see that is a possibility. We'll have to go ahead and see what will happen. Crowd will go down to the bomb. That's unfortunate. So Sangal, I mean, at the very least, they've walked away with 2 kills and a third go down to the bomb. So it means that the economy for Entropiq still remains in a dicey space. And they themselves are going to be able to buy no problems asked for the most part. I mean, Scrunk is the only question mark, really. And I think he might have an SMG to work with. So, generally speaking, actually not too bad of a situation. Okay, now, so Skrunk's only gone for the 5-7. He's prioritized utility. I don't mind that.
I mean, it's good as well, right? Because he prioritizes utility, and that sets up the other 4 M4s that the CT side have, It's not like he's prioritized utility so his team can just about piece together a buy. It is literally, he's the only person that takes a bit of a negative blow to the weaponry that he has in this round. 15-3 the scoreline. Sure, there's a little bit of damage done in favor of Entropiq at the start of this one. Kind of equal on the HP bars. Not to forget, Entropiq have their own problems with weaponry as well. Maybe not as bad as Sangal, but there is a Galil in the hands of Forester. Cheeky little boost attempt. Scrunk. 1 bullet away from death. But an even better spam from Fozy. That's brilliant.
Okay. Numbers favour Sangal. Man of advantage. What can they do with it? Nickelback's taking significant damage too as he's dropped to 48 points. And of course, the biggest thing is that for Elliot, he hasn't got that crux of the AWP that he wields so beautifully. And in this sort of position where they need multi-kills, they've got to rely on a Galil or Forester too.
As you said, the lower weaponry maybe coming back to haunt them. Fozy caught a little bit off guard. Maybe thought Soulfly was in a better angle. Nice shot from the A1S player, though. Nickelback responds. 3 versus 3. 30 seconds left on the round. Scrunk 5-7. Low HP, doesn't matter. Takes down Nickelback. They've got a man advantage in this retake. HP is a problem, though.
Of course, utilities come through. Smoking towards Banana to allow somewhat of a retake. Forest is parked up into the other side of the fountain. Swings in, finds QB. Looking for more as well. There's a double swing from Coffins is coming momentarily. And he finds one. Kory trades him out towards Forest. It's a 1 versus 1, but Kory's so low on HP. The shadow spotted. Alien's not losing that. The story not ended just yet. Entropiq at least buying themselves a little bit of time. Do you think the comeback's happening, Retro? Have you got faith?
Man, I have a higher chance of winning the lottery than Entropiq do in winning this game. Honestly.
I thought so.
Like, yeah, it's, I don't know. You got to look at the context of this game as well, right? This is Sangal's pick, so
yes,
sure,
of course.
there is a definite chance that that Entropiq can piece together and a few rounds and make this scoreline look a little more appealing. Just if you weren't watching the game. At the same time, you can't exactly sit here and say that Entropiq are going to win the next 11 in a row. Mere Nickelback both with kills. This round looks pretty good for Entropiq. They are against USPs. The next test comes in the next one, though, where, of course, Sangal, they have rifles.
Well, of course, for Sangal, that was a round we didn't expect too much of it. Hence what we saw. It was pretty comfortable for Entropiq to find 5. At the very least, they're making this a little bit, well, a little bit less embarrassing than what it was initially looking like. Still, so far, fullback on out, AWP in the hands of Fuzi. We know what he can do with it. It's supported by the quad M4 A1S and a fairly decent amount of utility. For Sangal, it's a much better buy, much stronger buy. And for Entropiq, the biggest thing that they don't have is the AWP to counter. Oh, and there it is.
That is just a Fozy special, isn't it? Opening the round up with the big green. Putting Sangal back on the map with a full buy. Mir looking for some banana control. Oh, Mir nearly with a solid entry. Not going to be 4 versus 3. Man up here for Sangal. Soulfly low HP. Big question is, can they convert this round? QB will find Crad. Forester and Nickelback in a 2 versus 4. Nice first kill for Forester. Still a lot of work to do for the remaining Entropiq players. A smoke in on Moto. They're going to turn towards B, which is the correct call because the only defender is Soulfly, and he is 19 points of health.
So going forward. Nader as well. Might get a bit of timing. It's a beautiful aim, but one in response, and Soulfly falls.
What a HE. 2 versus 2. Bomb set down. Kory and Fozy against Forester and Nickelback. To keep Entropiq in the game, to deny Sangal of taking their map pick in definitive fashion. Flash goes high. AWP scopes in. First kill. Which way does it go? In Nickelback's. Now Kory. 1v2. He's spotted. Nickelback knows his number. Drops the molly in. Expects him to be swinging forward. Kory taps it. You hear the zap. You know he's not on it. First kill is his. He's going to need to stick it surely very soon. No kit, no time. It will indeed be Entropiq up to 6. Kory with both kills on the exit, though. Does he get to save the AWP as well? Yes. Does he escape with his life? Indeed. Yeah. AWP saved, but Sangal lose another round.
Fair play. I mean, Entropiq are still starting to show that their T-side has some competence about it. Obviously, a long, long road to get back into this game. But on the other side, Sangal still showing they're great. I think time was just their kind of their worst enemy there, to be perfectly honest. If they had, 5-10 more seconds, that round's theirs, no bother, because they could have played things at a little bit more of a slower pace and actually gone for the trades rather than relying on a clutch to come through. Unfortunately for Sangal coming into this round, it is just that one AWP in the hands of FUZY to try and find success supported by pistols.
AWP holding a tight angle here. Fozy. Boost over the top. Of course he hits it. The only big weapon, and Soulfly goes for a swing. 5v4. Entropiq kind of shunted away from this B possession as well. Kory. Oh my god, Forester. Was going to say gets a bit of tag damage, but that's a brilliant double. Fozy, so quick on the rotates. Nearly scopes in to find another. Soulfly and Scrunk in a 2 versus 3. Very comfy saying that Entropiq will have 7. Starting to bring the numbers to a little bit more of a respectable line. But of course, this is still looking very, very good for Sangal in this first map.
One goes down. More or less confirms things, the Soulfly's nowhere to be seen. This is Entropiq up to 7. They're keeping this story alive. I mean, there's a realm and a world of a possibility where Entropiq makes something of this. I still think it's super far away. We don't have to think about it really at all for the time being. I still think that, Sangal the Circles, one mistake, one slip up from Entropiq, and this one's done. And of course, let me move on to map number 2 of Mirage to see how this best of 3 is going to dissect itself. If we get there, Dust 2, of course, is our decider in this best of 3. So, still a lot more CS on your screens, but either way. Bomb goes off, Entropiq going to find themselves at 7. And Soulfly will be able to save nice and easily.
Getting back into the swing of things here, Entropiq. Asking for a lot if they want to get back into this game. It's 8 in a row. I'm still standing by my ideology that I have a higher chance of winning the lottery than Entropiq do winning this map.
Okay. All right.
I mean, the numbers look nicer.
Yeah, that's true.
But you can't argue that Sangal have been on form through this entire map so far. Like, sure, Entropiq have done pretty well on the exit of this first map. Just can't rock the boat, though. Sangal have just looked better. Fozy finding the opening kill as well. Mir, nice trades. I mean, it's not all bad here for the side of Entropiq. Mir, low HP, though. That's an issue.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem. Spamming through, not going to find too much. 4 versus 4. The bomb still needs to be collected, and it sort of looks like Entropiq want to fall back. Maybe go towards A.
It's a little bit of a wonder what the Entropiq game plan is. Are still very much in, I'd argue, is a very safe place for Sangal. For Entropiq, they've got to make the move. QB would have spotted the first information on a second as well. Watch out for Fozy. He's holding that Moto cross. Will indeed continue to progress forward. Soulfly's caught out Mir. That was the lurk, the flank for Entropiq gone. Down to the bare bones here. QB still trying to take face overall. The remaining 3, getting ready to send it in for quite possibly the last time, Neo. QB having a look towards apartments. Timing not going to be on his side. QB finds the first, looking for more as well. Here's the AWP of Elian. One man coming from long, easy adjustment. Elian against 4 to keep Entropiq in it, to stop the Sangal side from finding 16. There's just no time. QB through the skies. Done, dusted. Sangal map 1. We're going to go to a break. When we are back, we're going to be heading into map 2. Sangal, they take their map pick of Inferno. The question is, can Entropiq reply on their home turf of Mirage? Well, that's what next map will determine. Can Entropiq turn things around? Can Entropiq take it to 3? Or will Sangal have a spot there in the close qualifier? We'll find out in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.